Hey guys, it's Sutonia, and since there were many questions about what happened in the baited on a free video, I thought I'd explain how I made this trap in depth, as well as talk about how the mechanics behind the NPCs in the video work. The NPCs featured in the video were the Pirate Faction Mining Defense Fleet NPCs, usually referred to by players as Diamond NPCs. The Diamond prefix on the NPC shows that it's a dangerous NPC with advanced AI. You'll most commonly encounter these Diamond NPCs when you attack one of the many mining haulers in the game. However, they can also show up in systems with a forward operating base or a pirate Satoyo. The Diamond NPCs are dangerous because, unlike regular NPCs, they are actually very close to player ships in terms of how effective they are. In fact, CCP based all of the stats of Diamond Pirate NPCs on a character with all level 5 skills, flying that ship with all Tech 2 modules fitted. As an example, here is the Diamond Nightmare belonging to the Sanchez Nation that appears in the video. I have recreated it exactly in Python. You can see how all the stats are identical to it on the EVE Online database on Steve Roniken's awesome website. The other ships you'll see from the pirate factions are very similar. For example, the Diamond Groosters Kestrel NPCs that you see around Highsec have the same stats as a maxed player flying a Tech 2 fitted Kestrel. What makes these NPCs even more dangerous is that they'll spawn in groups. For example, one of the compositions of NPCs that you saw in my baited video was 5 Nightmares, 3 Raveners, and 2 Succubus. The Raveners are a unique Sanchez Nation frigate NPC logistics ship, in case you don't know what that is, with its stats basically based on the Bantam. So you can kind of think of that wave of NPCs as 5 players in Nightmares, 3 in Bantams, and 2 in Succubus. If you add all that damage up, it nearly comes to 3000 DPS, with some Logi and Tackle thrown in to spice things up, which is very scary. The NPCs also have advanced AI as mentioned. The logistics will hug and stay behind the mainline DPS. In my example, the Raveners will stay behind the Nightmares. The NPCs also focus fire as groups and also fire on appropriate targets. For example, in my video, I was harassed by the Succubus NPCs in my interceptor, but the Nightmares did not fire on my interceptor, and that's because the AI knows that my ship is a bad target for them because it's small and they are unlikely to be able to track it. So they chose more size appropriate targets. So we now know how strong and smart these NPCs are, but how do we get these lovable, or not so lovable since they are pirate NPCs after all, on our side? What makes the Diamond NPCs even more unique is they will actually take your standings to them into account. For the pirate NPCs that are featured in my video, they'll generally consider all players kill on sight. However, if you have faction standings equal to or higher than 2.5 for them, they will no longer consider you kill on sight. If the NPC considers you neutral, they'll show up as white on your overview. If you have faction standings of 5.0 or higher, they'll consider you friendly, and in addition to no longer shooting you in the face, the Diamond NPC logistics ships that spawn with them will actually use their remote repair on you, which is very cool. Diamond NPCs that consider you friendly will show up as blue on your overview. So to execute this trap, obviously my main character Sutonia is blue to the NPCs, but neutral would work fine too. I'm blue because I have high standings of above 5.0 to the Sanchez Nation. I use an alt character who does not have good Sanchez standings to warp in and to attack the NPC miners to trigger the mining defense response fleet with the Diamond NPCs. The Diamond NPCs and miners will then warp into a safe spot once you have left the grid. I then probe down the Diamond NPCs and anchor an ESS on grid with them. This will make the location warpable for other players who you're trying to bait. You could also try using a Sino plus an anchored bubble to do this if you want to save cargo space and ISK, but the character lighting the Sino would need to not be shot by the NPCs obviously. It's worth noting that the Diamond NPC response fleets are actually procedurally generated based on what caused them to respond. For example, disturbing the NPC miners with an interceptor or a frigate will cause them to spawn smaller ships to be able to track and kill that target. So if you want the big battleship spawns for your bait traps with them, you'll probably need to use something like an industrial ship that I use. just another trick, the NPC miners will go back to mining after hanging around in their safe spot with the NPC defenders for about 10 to 15 minutes, if nothing bad happens to them. However, as long as you warp your alt character to the grid or uncloak and let them see you and attack you, this will reset their internal timer, and they will have to wait another 10 minutes or so. So if you want to bait people with them over time, don't forget to keep them around using your alt. And that's how the bait trap works. I recommend giving it a try, it's really hilarious when it works.